Now, you do 3D printing, not just in the plastic sense. People think of 3D printing as being exclusively plastic, exclusively stuff like that. You are able to 3D print in metal and true metal, like stainless steel, everything, right?
Absolutely true metal. So, yeah, I can do stainless steel, Inconel, tool steels, a few things like that. Basically, I did plastic 3D printing for actually quite a long time. I've done it. I have a tried and true Prussia Mark III that I looked at the statistics the other day. It has something like 3 kilometers of filament run through it. It's
Wow.
yeah. It's printed a long time.
Okay. Okay.
And then recently, this past year, I upgraded to a Metal X system that allows me through a 3-step process to actually 3D print metal parts. And there's one sitting over on the counter that I cannot reach.
I got it. You keep going.
There we go.
I got it.
And that I lied. It's over by the.
I got it.
So anyways, I was able to actually, through a 3-step process, it's still FDM printing, steel fused deposition printing.
What does that mean? Explain that real quick.
So
FDM.
basically, it extrudes a little layer of plastic, layer by layer, and builds a part up from the ground up, just at 50 to 100 microns per layer, and starts from the bottom, same as most plastic printers work. And then, you put it through a chemical bath and put it through a cooking process that actually shrinks the part 25%. And forms it into a actual grain-structured steel and you can knock them together and it sounds like steel.
Yeah, here we go. We'll do it on the mic here.
That is a 3D printed part.
This is, what did you say the other day, like 90%, 95% that of a machined part in terms of strength?
Depending on what grade of material you're printing in, I can hit about 99.4% the strength of a 3D printed part, or a traditionally machined part with the 3D printing.
Really?
So
that's very cool, because there are, as we know, there are designs in this world that you couldn't actually machine because of the shape of them. There would be no way to machine something with a complex curve on the inside or something like that. A machinist would tell me I'm wrong here, but there are some things that you can't machine, and with this, you could print them.
Absolutely. I mean, additive manufacturing is truly the future for a lot of things, and I can say that very comfortably because I own an additive manufacturing business.
Well, and I was going to say, this is a business you do. You do this. You do this partially for a living as well.
I absolutely do. Yeah.
And, in addition to the YouTube and other stuff like that, granted, a 3D metal printer is not something you go buy on, a hobbyist website, and this was a substantial investment.
Yeah, and it's a bit of an extensive process to get everything up and running, and it's a bit of an extensive process in actually the manufacturing of the parts as well. You don't just get to click a button and everything comes out all pretty. But no, it works out. It works out very well because I'm able to manufacture a lot of things that just wouldn't otherwise be able to be manufactured, and that on the YouTube side, it helps a lot in designing with the race car and stuff. Suspension configurations that previously weren't originally available,
right?
Not having to operate around the constraints of traditional manufacturing with that.
That is fair. What are some things that you can do with this? Like, what are some examples of some parts that would be a good candidate to be 3D printed metal-wise?
Realistically, any part that has internal geometries that aren't necessarily able to be manufactured, that you can't, because when you traditionally manufacture a part using a milling machine or a CNC lathe or something like that, or even a 5-axis machine, you're still limited by the position on which you can get that tool in to remove that material.
Right.
By building up the part layer by layer, what it does is it allows those complex internal geometries in turbines, in turbine housings, to be able to be created without having to be able to get a tool in there and remove that material. You're able to just build around that material. And that's really the bread and butter of additive manufacturing, is to complex geometries that just are too complicated or prohibitively expensive or difficult on traditional CNC manufacturing.
That's very cool. And now, obviously, a lot of use in the aerospace industry.
Absolutely.
A lot of use in that.
Well, and again, it's the same with traditional 3D printing. On the stainless steel parts, I can obviously do solid parts, but the internal structures of the 3D printed components, and you could put up a picture of this for the people who are watching on video, are still a triangular filled structure. So you actually can create significantly stronger and lighter parts just based on the geometries of the parts themselves.
Right. So essentially, it's not just, like a flat part that you would machine that is, say solid metal all the way through. There's actually like a structure inside of that,
Correct.
weaved inside of that, and that makes it stronger because
Correct.
you're able to determine the direction that goes in and all of these different really complicated factors.
And depending on the part, it gives you more surface area for the overall strength of the component, while in critical applications, removing weight. So you can make a part out of steel that's 30 to 35% lighter than a machine component when those grams actually matter.
That's cool. That's actually very cool because that's something you can't do with a machine part at all.
Exactly.
Even if you were going to replicate a part with 3D printing that you could otherwise machine, you can still make it lighter and you can make it stronger with the 3D metal printing.
Absolutely. And I mean, I encourage anybody to go out. I mean, a 3D printer is one of the tools in my shop that gets used the most, even when I'm going to make a part out of steel using traditional methods. It's so handy to have around to do templates, to do stuff like that. It's just an incredibly useful tool. And plastic 3D printers have gotten to the point of affordability that, they've genuinely gotten very affordable even in the past 2 or 3 years.
I dig it. So 3D metal printing, you've got this going on. You've got the tube car. You've got all these other projects.
I got projects.
What other projects do you have in the works? Is there anything...
I have a few cool metal 3D printing projects with, I'm going back to the Harbor Freight engines for a little bit, and I have a few super cool things now that we're experimenting around with the metal 3D printing and a little bit of topology optimization in small hobbyist engines, and let's see if we can get some parts on there a lot lighter internally. And we have a lot of fun upcoming projects planned out this year. So
I love it. You can find him on YouTube at Wesley Kagan. You can find him on Instagram also at Wesley Kagan. He's pretty much Wesley Kagan everywhere.
I was the first one on the internet, so I got all the cool names.
There you go. It's what can you do? There you go. I love it. Subscribe to him on YouTube. Give him a follow on Instagram. Keep up with this stuff because it is really, really cool. I can't think of another person doing some of the neat stuff that you're doing here. And of course, I also appreciate you letting me stay here in Arizona and bug you for a couple of days. And,
anytime. Absolutely.
And it's also warm here.
It's nice.
It's warm. It's been 60 degrees all week, and everywhere I go, people are like, "Oh, isn't it so cold?" And I'm like, "I'm from Colorado. I just came from Colorado. I don't know what cold is. This is summertime to me."
It is 62 degrees, and I'm in a jacket. So that,
I did bring my flip-flops. I did actually bring my flip-flops. I'm not wearing them now, but
nope.
There you go.
But all of the Colorado, I'm not accustomed to Colorado anymore. It's 60 and I have a jacket on. Not worth it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna poke fun when it's 150 down here and you're boiling eggs and stuff on
the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So, not worth it.
There you go. Wesley, thank you for joining me on the show. Thank
you for having me.
And of course, thank you for listening to the show. You can find the show wherever fine shows, and I guess this one are downloaded. Of course, remember to follow it on YouTube, also on Rumble. Listen to it on the radio Saturday mornings, 91.7 KLZR. If you listen on Spotify, give it a rating, 6 stars. Let's blow up Spotify's rating. I see 64 people who only gave it 5 stars, so I think we need to up that.
I need to download the app that allows me to do 6 stars.
6 stars. Yep. Okay. Yep. We'll get that one on the road there.
I'll get right on that.
Yep. We'll make it work. Thank you for joining me here, and thank you for listening to the Automotive ADHD Show.